All right. We're getting stuck in. Getting stuck right in. Blank slate, as per the norm. But I do have a loop recorded into the luba. Luba. The looper. Which I only use for super basic tape sample things. Chris, what's happening? What's shaking? So here's what I kind of need to do. I kind of need to figure out what key this is in. So we're gonna do a really, really basic sequence. All right. So this is just my particular technique. I'm gonna throw the output of the melodizer into an oscillator that I know is in tune. Right? So there, right now, it's playing just a C, just over and over. And if I'm like, oh, is it a D? Let's change it to a D. And then F. So you can just go up chromatically and you can check each one of these. Right? So then I'm going to compare that to the output of the looper and figure out, kind of dial in. The G? It is. Know what I'm saying? And then we get matched, everything that we need. So, yeah, just to double check, confirm, and so on. So I will say, in terms of how I approach this, let's acknowledge something that most people don't want to. All right. You really need, if you really want to get the most from synthesizers, from modular, from whatever, really need to know your theory. You need to know your theory. You need to know your scales, and you need to do a shit ton of ear training. But that ear training, I think, comes in time, right? That's a difficult thing to do because there is no instant. Let's look up information. I mean, you're literally training a skill, right? And that just takes time, no matter what. But I listened to this. I know what scale it's in. It's in a G minor pentatonic. Okay, which is let me think. Yeah, it's basically, yeah, so it's G, B flat, C, D, F. And occasionally there's other notes kind of thrown in there, but that's the main thing. But if you think about how that scale is structured, right? G, B flat, D, that's your main chord. But you could then take that chord and throw a different bass note under, like an E flat, and turn it into this giant, gorgeous E flat major or major 7, depending on what's happening, right? So we can kind of have this whole spectrum changing, as it goes, and have chords switching and such, while this sort of just consistently or constantly plays, or it occasionally plays. Like, I don't know. It depends. I don't know what's gonna happen here. So, that's the plan anyways. So, let's see. Yeah, well, that's good. I honestly, I think that there's a lot of people in especially in the synthesizer world, I think there is just an immediacy to synthesizers that is great for somebody that's like, hey, I just want to get in, like make something cool. Like, sweet, awesome. But you hit a wall just like any other instrument in terms of like how capable am I of playing it or of understanding music overall. And that wall cannot be conquered very quickly, right? So, read your worksheets. Read your books. Jake from Signals Music Studio is almost done with his book, and it looks pretty great. So, I would highly recommend. His stuff is mostly guitar based, but he'll have piano voicings in there and stuff too. So, yeah, anyways. I'll get down off of my soapbox. Now, there's a bunch of ways that we can do this. Right? We could take this here out. We only need a mono output. It doesn't even have to be stereo. I don't know why I always deal with it in stereo. Could we do that's interesting? Well, let's give it a little bit of a listen here. Okay, now here's the question then. Is it actually in stereo? I mean, YouTube says things like it's in stereo, but is there? No, that's totally mono. That's just straight up mono. Like, come on. Okay. What I don't like is the organ that's in there. That's annoying to me. Like, it's just cluttering up the place, you know? Now, what if we slowed this down? Okay. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. We just blow it out. We explode the motherfucker. Or maybe normal speed. By ear? No, by knowledge. It's like, oh, do you know what the notes are in a particular scale? Well, then you dial up your notes the way they should be. And then, like, okay, on the melodizer, the root goes up all the way, right? Because you want that to be the highest priority or the highest probability of playing, right? So, and then the sig works the same way. So the root, the fifth, is like 2/3 of the way up. The third, minor third, is about 2/3 of the way up as well. And then I have a little bit of F and I have a little bit of C. So the fourth and the seventh. And then you can kind of skew that the way you want. And that's one of the things that I really love about the melodizer is you can just gradually sit here with your fingers on the keypad and like morph it into new notes and new chords and new combos, and it's rather lovely, you know? Let's see here. Yeah, let's just keep this thing mono. Because saving cables, you know? So, right in that guy there. Throw it into the popple. See, that I like. Just turn it into like a veil sound. And then... Okay. Terror. Well, and I will gleefully randomize cutoff frequency on that there filter. Gleefully. Okay. Marbles. I'm going to jack down the speed. Way down. So we'll give this an occasional trigger. Oh, we don't need that long cable. What we need is this going into the freeze. Ow. Here, actually, I'm going to set up a looping envelope here, i.e. an LFO on the Zadar. And that way I can just throw a weird shape on here. And then turn the level way down. And put that into the resonance control. Less. Hey, cripe. Too much. Too much. Too much resonance. We don't want to hurt people. I do have news in the equipment gas world. I did order a new case today. 168 HP, five row, but also with a 1U IntelliGel size row in the middle. I really like the concept for using those 1U rows to distribute clock. And to be honest, the way I have it here, kind of routed down into this like block in my mult and then bleh. It used to work well, but now that I have a lot more clocked devices, it's a friggin' mess, you know? These cables always hanging over your face and stuff. And that, I want to change all of that, you know. I'm going to have an actual dedicated, it's pretty much the first thing I'm going to do is like run clock signals, and if I need to get some right angle cables, like, shit, man, I could make my own. I could make custom ones. But you'd have to do that eventually. You couldn't do it right away, because then, oh, now I'm locked in, and like when you get everything settled, then get some right angle connectors and custom make your own cable lengths so that they just kind of like squirrel around and wrap through. Like if you look here on my Turing machine, right? I've got this right angle cable into the clock input, and then it's like squirreling through between those guys and going down to the mult where it's plugged in. New power, soulmate. No, I don't like right angles for day-to-day, like at all. But in terms of low profile, for something like clock that you're going to hook up and just leave it, it's perfect, right? So then I got my happy little clock cable right here, just unobtrusive, little snaky, right through. Especially with knurlies, because knurlies make little maze-like paths for the cables to get routed through. It's very satisfying. So this is just doing its thing. It's pulsing and stuff. All right, so let's mute that and let's think about some other voices because, well, that's what it's all about. So yeah, it's a company out of I think Hungary, if I remember correct. Urian Modular. Uryan. And good reviews, good stuff, good price, you know. So it's kind of exciting. It's going to be a few weeks at the very least, though, until it comes in. I'll probably get the Positronic Recursion Studio before that thing comes in. Not that that's a bad thing. Sig. Let's do the Sig voice. Sig voice. Good times. Oh, let's keep it super easy. Let's just throw it into Platts because it's right there. And all it needs is 2 cables, which I, you know, kind of dig. You know what I mean? It's like groovy. So like CV into volt per octave, and then the treg, which is their trigger / envelope output. Then we go into the thing. But let's do something funky. Let's do something interesting. I'm just gonna hook up basic cables for now, and not even worry about going through a filter or anything like that. At least not yet. Not yet. Is that famous? Do you have any famous last words? Not yet. Not yet? Is that famous? I did sign up, yes. Worst case scenario, you know, it shows up and like it's barely functional. And then you're like, well, shit. And you're just looking at it until the update comes out. Damn you, 16th notes. Now, if we turned up attack all the way and decay. We get some weirdness. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it does, I don't know, like a handful of screens and responds to knobs, that's all I need right now. That's fine. That's all good. turn up the rest count on that thing so it just kind of doesn't sound all the time, every time, no matter what. That's not really the oscillator I was looking for, though. And of course now it's gonna not play when I would like it to. Hey, you like this. Let's turn up half notes. Or eighth notes. Can't, sir. It's locked in a 2-measure long rest. Damn you. Damn your eyes. Do the thing. Play. What are you doing? You're not playing. There you are. Jesus. I think the rests are turned up too high. This would be kind of neat to do this. Alright, and then turn this way down. And then go back to our to rests. So basically kind of almost like a fading in, like, you know, I think this is going to be more reliable if I do this in a filter. And I do this with another external. The envelope that won't reach, you bastard. That's okay, we'll just use this guy. So, envelope, we're going to have very slow attack. But basically instantaneous release and stuff like that. So we're going to need this. Yeah, I'm going to need you to go into the carry filter. No, let's go Zagreb for this. Yeah. Peter, what's happening? Yeah, we're gonna need to get caught up in a little bit of work, back work. I'm gonna have to go ahead and ask you to come in on Saturday. Okay. You playing? You're actually not playing, technically. Once again, I apologize in advance for the sniffles. But, man, the tree sperm in the air is doing wonderful things. That's what I'm looking for, is that little whap. Now, what would be cool is to actually put that in so we have kind of a, like a very light background all the time, right? There, and then the filter would just pop in every once in a while. So I would like to give it just a little bit of something kind of slothy. Would be nice. But a heavily attenuated sloth going directly into the cutoff frequency here. just to give it a little. I'm not sure yet. I mean, it'll have the bus effects, so it'll have reverb and delay. Just kind of occasionally just whop. Meanders along. So there's the thing. Yeah, could have used probably the ensemble oscillator for the same kind of thing, because it had that chord-ish mode thing. What else we got? Well, we kind of need a bass voice, right? So, yeah. Bass voice. Basically 3 notes. We'll have G, and then we'll have like a little bit of E flat, then a little bit of probably C. Just a little bit. And like, those guys will get like 2 whole notes for their main thing. But then I'm going to turn up like the rest rate and stuff in a bit. Let's see here. Who's got me a nice happy stereo bass sound? Shall we go with the ensemble oscillator? Seems like a good idea. No, let's run this into thing. Yeah, we need the gain there. It's the extra 20 dB of gain that you can pop in on this thing, which I love. All right, so similar. Just throw that into an envelope. Make kind of a slow one. Get some nice happy swells going. That's a bit much. It's not awful. Official beater thing for it. Oh no. All right. Random percussive blurbs. But, so here's the thing, right? We're going to turn spray off. And I'm going to have it not fire randomly. Okay, let's not use this. Let's instead... I'm going to send... So I have jitter turned all the way up on marbles, but rate is all the way down, right? It's being clocked at 61 BPM, but that doesn't really matter much. So one of the T1 out with jitter turned all the way up, so it's not going to hit very often, right? I'm going to run that through the clock divider, and then that is going to actually launch grains, right? So we should get some pretty interestingly psychedelic weirdness coming out of there. Vwap. Except we don't have long enough cables. Of course we don't. Of course we don't. Where am I going with that anyways? Oh, let's use the Morpheus maybe. If it reaches. One of them does. This is literally, I have one long yellow patch cable. That's it. There it is. Or I have, like, super long ones. So, yeah. One of those things that I need to do something about. Actually, I think this one will reach. This one doesn't. Yep. It's fine. There's no stress on it. It's good. 2 poles. Let's do 4-pole A here. Alright. And, well, let's just see what it sounds like for now. What's going on here? Oh, yeah. I need to give it some nice sweepy modulation there. So this should fire. There was something. So it's not always going to sound because I didn't put the sounds on there. I didn't record those sounds, you know, consistently. Like the whole time during the whole buffer. So there's a lot of space. Only when you see this orange light here pop will it actually be hitting. So, yeah, I'm like, should I turn rate up just a little? Because I don't want it to just never happen. Like, that's irritating, too. Or, here, let's put it into that T-spot right there. Which is going to hit every time it actually fires one off. Oh, and then we can dial up the grain length, too. Do it. Do it. Do it. going to add 15 decibels of gain to the input. Because it needs it. No. There we go. There's some stuff. That exists. Alright, now what if we actually just put this on? Alright. It's the internal reverb. It's a bit much. Nope, of course not. Of course not. Why would the cable reach? You know? That one reaches. Good. Phew. I was gonna have to start raging. Breaking shit. Smash. Giant hammer comes out. That's the last I ever streamed. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, well, we were in a different input channel. That's where we were. There we go. Pardon me. Okay. So we don't want this. I just want it to fire off just every now and then. Alright, so I'm kind of... Yeah, let it scan. Let it do its thing. Maybe actually this should be in the slower, the mid. Yeah. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's go 1. Like what? Let's go like half note bipolar random for the playhead location. There. So it just pops around now from place to place, does its thing. There we go. Pizza voice. Added advantage to using the R bar for those percussion blips. Random panning. Because it just flips a coin on each grain generation. Left side, right side. Which way do you want to go? Okay. Where are we at here? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm all out of stereo filters again. Son of a... Maybe the key is I really don't want to use... Actually, you know what? Let's just use the chainsaw. Because the chainsaw always sounds good. I think that'll work better. So the rhythm here is really going to come more from the delay than anything else. Well, you have to clock it. With the FX aid, you can get close. It does have some clocked delays in there. I actually don't know if I have any of them. I don't think I have any of them loaded in. Honest, I probably should. You know. Well, the Imitor Versio is like, he's like throwing a flamethrower at it, you know. It's like, here, every single note will have 12 repeats, no matter what. And you can only go more than that. So we could go like, here, let's do a crescendo delay and we'll turn up the regen. Just let it go stupid. It's just a lot, you know? Little distortion in there. Yeah, I keep thinking about, you know, switching firmwares on the Versio thing here to a different delay. And I'm like, I don't know. Because I really like this thing. So, like, the delay lags behind the note by, like, a good second and a half or so. There it is. Boom. Dun. That's just the echo part. That's... Now, what would happen if we went quick? Ooh, that's more like it. So I modulated the delay time with a random. But it should always be locked in as a clock division. It's just gonna be weird. Because every once in a while it's gonna be like, yeah! That? Who's playing an F sharp? Like a savage. Oh, it's the bell. It's the bell sound in the R bar. Damn it. Thanks, man. Dude, it's the Aurora with the FDN reverb firmware. It's just this occasional triggering of the freeze. Just, it's like a brick of reverb. Platt's voice. Hey Jojo, what's new? I did a thing today that I'm a little bit guilty of. I ordered a bigger case. But, you know, I'm not buying anything else. This is my thing, right? And I actually mostly used money from my disc dyeing sales for it, so there isn't a big financial hit, like, other than that, which I have designated as my fun money, you know, fund. So, yeah, I'll be able to put some new stuff into it, hopefully expand my mixer section. I don't know, man. I'm debating that Frap Tools setup, but fuck. It's gonna cost me like $1,200, and... but it might be worth it. Oh, that bass. Oh yeah, I mean, it'll be empty, of course. So all of this stuff is going to go in there. It's going to be 168 HP. But the same height. I'm gonna bring my mirrorless from home and my capture device and stuff, and bring it here and see if I can't use that instead for this camera, and then make that kind of the main view. So that's my plan, at least. And then we'll see what it looks like. I have a couple of ideas for how to hook up a tripod onto the shelf that I have here. This like rolling cart shelf thing that it's mounted on. I think I can mount a tripod onto the back of it and have it just chonk over the top. And if that's the case, then you can get a boom and an extension for it and put it like really far up in the air. So yeah, I think things are getting kind of serious. I'm enjoying it a lot. I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm not coming out with albums and stuff, you know. So what I need to do is set myself a modest goal of doing like a deep dive video every month. Like, pick a module here and just show, here's 10 ways to use blah, whatever. And then use that when I get something new and just start putting content out there, you know. But I'm kind of thinking of it like, you know, I used to have a gig playing piano at a bar, and it was like a hoity-toity cabaret bar. So, you know, they had good whiskey, and if you wanted to sing, you could just put in a request and like, here, do this song. So I had to look up the music and play it, you know, or know it already or whatever. It was like, okay, every Friday night, this is my thing. And I look at this sort of like that. Like, I'm just here to make cool music, and hopefully somebody is entertained by that. I'd do this on my own. You know, so... But then I had this other thought too of connecting into our earlier discussion and doing some videos on music theory and Eurorack. Oh, that's cool, Chris. Thanks, man. Yeah, you know, there's some people that I look up to, which would be like State Azure, right? And like, he never talks, and that's his choice. That's your deal. That's fine. But this stuff looks just amazing. I mean, aside from the sheer volume of stuff he's got gear-wise, but you know, he's using Blackmagic cinema cameras, and he's got all the LED lighting and all the stuff, right? So I'd like to take a step closer to that level, and then I also want to have the visuals. And I've got this wall here. And I've got a small projector that fits on a tripod. You know. So have some cool visuals. In fact, maybe even, I don't know, man. I was thinking I almost want to get an HDMI mixer, and then just have one HDMI cable going into a capture device for the computer. Like, that's it. Do it all in hardware, run the camera into it, run the Positronic Recursion Studio into it, and just like hands-on, turn a knob, blend them together, do shit. Like, I think that would be really cool. Yeah, that's a good question. I believe it's going to be anything that's like that class compliant, you know, driverless stuff that they have now. So I know my Logitechs here will. These are Logitech Brio 4K webcams, but they're just a USB webcam. Yeah, it'll take a camera into the USB port. Or a video input, yeah. That would be some big brain stuff, is to run a loop through it. So take the camera output and then run it into the input, so you're seeing this, but kaleidoscope, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I would like to do, but obviously, as much as I am spending, I can't do all of that at once. But shuffling my cameras around, that'd be easy. I mean, that's easy. In fact, I think I have all of the hardware if I wanted to, you know, mount it on this. But tomorrow is my last day of school, so... I think I start back up last week of August. So we've got a full, like, 2.5 months. Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like that's the future. If any school district was being run logically and with the best outcomes in mind, it should be. And it should be a later start time. And just like nobody's willing to budge on these things ever. And it's... like, here is the data. No, we don't want it. God damn it. Now, that being said, I wouldn't be happy if they changed it to that. You know, I got about 12 years left till I retire. 12 or 13 years. So that's a good amount of time. They're not going to do anything like that during that span, though, for me. Well, the star of the show... Is that in Florida? Yeah. How are they gonna how are they going to get their child laborers if they're going to make school happen all year round? Did they not think about that? Backs slowly out of frame.
Cross-marketing synergy, data-driven analysis. We got data-driven analysis driving the cross-market synergy and cooperating with our extensive quantities of SEO. We've managed to achieve a 47% market saturation rate.
What happens if I do this? This might be really dumb, so warning. It's too much. It's way too much. Okay. So I need to attenuate that there noise level. So we'll use our friend the acid rain junction and do just that. Do some weird things with the filter here. Jesus. You know what I should do too is get a compressor for this FX8. For stuff like that, like, that would be a good idea. Yeah, that's the thing. I've just noticed weird things, and I haven't been able to get them to repeat. So it's definitely not. It's way too early to say it's like a bug, which is why I was like, I think, because I'm not sure. I've just noticed there have been multiple times where it's triggering notes, and they're just not quite in tune. And maybe it's the oscillator, right? And but things were changing in just weird ways, and I was like, I was a little confused. Um, but I don't remember it well enough to know whether that was definitely the SIG or whether I tracked it down even. Just some stuff that I've noticed, weird bugs in my system somewhere, but that's the latest thing. So, and it would make sense if it had some weird micro voltage table or something in there, or some kind of thing, because it is the thing that's controlling the voltages and putting them out. So, um, as far the only thing that the melodicer, the big difference is the rhythms. The rhythm section and the controls on the melodicer are a lot simpler. This one, they're much more extensive in the SIG, but the dicer is just so immediate. 4 knobs and then your note sliders. That's it. There's no menu diving. There's no button combinations, whatever. So I don't think I've played with it enough in the same style. Like I kind of did tonight with the bass line, and that's something I need to do more of. Like transform things, you know what I mean? Um, but oh, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that, like on the Melodicer, for example, there is none, unless you get into the CV assignments and stuff. But it's only one track, you know. So, I'm just comparing it to the Dicer because that's what I started with, and I loved that sequencer so much that I have 2 of them, right? So that's kind of my starting point on this whole thing. And it was like, well, you could save yourself a bunch of room and have 4 tracks instead of just 1. And it definitely does the job for that. So I need to try it with drums. That seems like it'd be entertaining. But sometime. Anyways, I'm out of here. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow or not. But it seems likely because I'm out of school. And yeah. Yeah, some CV would be very good on the SIG. I will 100% agree with that. But yeah. Alrighty. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. And hope you are healthy and lucky and